At a friend's get-together, Peter asked if I had settled down with a girlfriend yet. He was asking me, but it was directed at Carrie. Everyone knew Carrie, and I had been tangled up for a decade without defining our relationship. All eyes turned to her. She looked relaxed. "Why are you looking at me? Henry and I are just friends." Peter almost laughed out loud. "You know, youth is limited, Henry. You gotta hurry." I nodded in agreement. "Yeah, that's why I'm planning to get married." Everyone was shocked. I explained with a smile. "My family introduced me to someone recently. We've been seeing each other and it's been nice." Carrie, usually so free-spirited, crushed her wine glass in public. I decided to let go of Carrie and focus on meeting new people about 6 months ago. During the last holiday, she came back early from a business trip, knocked on my door in the middle of the night, confessed her feelings, and we ended up in bed. That night, from the sofa to the bed to the bathroom, we did all sorts of wild things. She released me only when she was exhausted. Before sleep, I asked her, "Are we together now?" She stared at me for a long time with dark eyes. My heart sank bit by bit, of course. She wiped away the moisture at the corner of my eye. "Silly, when have I ever been easy? But let's not tell them yet." I didn't understand the deeper meaning of that at the time. Fell asleep tired and happy. In the middle of the night, I woke to find the other side of the bed cold. Carrie was gone. The pain and marks all over my body told me the night wasn't a dream. I heard her voice from the balcony. I slipped on a robe and got up quietly. It was 4 a.m., just before dawn. Carrie was sitting on the balcony in the living room smoking. She looked like she hadn't slept all night, troubled and tired, the cigarette glowing in her fingers. I'd never seen her like this. It broke my heart a little, and I was about to speak when I heard her words. "I'm finally dirty. I'm no longer good enough for you." I froze. She was on her phone, talking to someone else. In the haze of smoke, she frowned slightly, took a drag, and blew a smoke ring, her voice hoarse. "Harry, don't worry. I won't cling to you anymore." My heart felt like it shattered into pieces. I decided to be with him. "Are you satisfied now?" I lost all strength, slid down the wall, and sat on the floor. Before this, Carrie and I had been ambiguous for 10 years, never defining our relationship. She held my hand, wrapped her arms around my waist, slept with me. She took care of me so well that all our friends wondered, "Are you caring for a husband or raising a son?" They all saw I liked her, but she said we'd be lifelong friends. "Do you like Henry?" She'd pat my head with endearing eyes. "Who wouldn't like sweet Henry? Right, Henry?" From high school to college to graduation and work, we stayed close like siblings. More than friends, but not quite lovers. Last night's passion was to force herself to be with me, to reassure him. A decade of waiting and running was a joke. "Henry, I wish you happiness. I have to live my life now too." Carrie said goodbye to the person on the phone, looking a bit resolute. Deciding to be with me caused her such pain. The sweet joy from earlier vanished entirely. Tears fell silently. I went back to the room, curled up under the covers, stifled my sobs. She never returned to sleep until dawn, then pulled me from bed. "Still sleepy?" She chuckled, pecked my forehead. "I got things to do. You keep sleeping." After Carrie left, I took a shower, scrubbing myself thoroughly. Opened my computer and she hadn't logged out from her last use. I was overwhelmed with curiosity. I really wanted to know what Harry looked like. I did find him, actually. Buried in folders, inside one named Old Times, were photos of a guy and her handwritten diary. In the cramped writing was her intense love for him. She wrote, "I transferred my love from you to him. Taking care of him felt like caring for you. You said I was young and immature, but he says I'm mature and thoughtful. Harry, I've grown up. Why won't you look back at me? Someone once said the shadows you chase are someone else's unmet dreams. The person I pursued and waited for all these years had someone they couldn't let go of in their heart. My heart ached, unsure whether for her or myself. He and Carrie had known each other since they were kids, a few years older than us. His name was Harry. Forgotten details rushed back like a tide. Like her transfer day in sophomore year, her ecstatic look when she heard my name. She pleaded to be my desk partner. She was wild and brilliant, attractive and popular. But she didn't care for anyone else. Only me, patiently teaching me, secretly cheering me up when I failed a test. Until now, I saw the note. Harry, he's really slow. I taught the same math problem many times. Each time, I got mad but remembered I saw him as you and held back. She liked saying my name but kept writing it as Harry. I'm Henry. I corrected her countless times, yet she continued. Now I understand she did it on purpose. She saw someone else through me. Calling me Harry was calling out to him. I thought about last night. Her teary-eyed, Harry, do you love me? Harry, can we be together? After I confirmed, she kissed me and whispered in my ear. Harry, I miss you. Harry, I'm really good. Harry, don't leave me. After that night, our relationship didn't develop. We tacitly agreed never to bring up that night again. One day she said she wanted me to meet a friend. Henry, a friend's visiting the area. Want to come meet them? Sure. I didn't ask who, didn't ask why, because I saw the message pop up on her phone. You said you've grown up and are great at taking care of people. I'm curious about how well you're taking care of my replacement. Let's meet up. I want to see how he's doing. Otherwise, I can't rest easy. We arranged to meet at a seaside restaurant. He wasn't as good-looking as in the photos, but he had a gentle demeanor. He exuded a mature charm, making him approachable. I'm Henry. I've heard a lot about you from Carrie. She says your name is just like mine. Didn't expect it to be true. Carrie squeezed my hand tightly, explaining, Henry, Harry and I grew up in the same neighborhood since we were kids. We're really close. Nice to meet you. I'm Henry. I shook his hand, maintaining a neutral expression. When Carrie went to get drinks, he gave me a look over and said, Carrie has always been exceptional. She must have a lot of admirers, right? Girl chasing a guy for 10 years. She must really be persistent. He seemed polite, but there was a hint of condescension in his eyes. Being close to her, you should thank your name. Having heard about you and her, it pains me. Honestly, I don't support you two being together. After that day, my relationship with Carrie became distant. Before, she'd call me whenever she had time and we'd chat almost every day. Our last message was from the day she introduced me to Harry. I haven't reached out to her since. Because during the gathering, when I was returning from the bathroom, I overheard her conversation with Harry. Honestly, not seeing you for years, you've really surprised me. But are you really going to be with him? I just feel he's not worthy of you. Okay, for fun, but marriage, no. Carrie sounded wistful. You didn't want me, so why are you trying to control me? Even if I marry a pig, it's none of your business. You shouldn't ruin yourself. Life is long, you should choose someone you really like. Please, you say you care, but you're the most heartless. She sneered with a tone of spite, and he sounded a bit helpless. You decided to be with him and still blame me? My decision can change any time for you. Including him? He's nothing but a stand-in for you, that's all. Hearing her say that, I realized it was time to end things. Perhaps sensing my coldness, Carrie sent me a message half a month later. Honey, been busy lately. So much to do by year end. Once I'm done, I'll take you out. But I found out she was back in his city, and even considering job opportunities there. Despite the unpleasant meal, Harry and I exchanged details. He flaunted pictures of them online, her eyes full of love and submission. He called her his cute puppy. Girl next door has grown up. She'll be my cute puppy. I silently liked the post, and Harry messaged me privately. I've decided to take her back. She should have been mine all along. He attached a photo of bite marks on his neck saying, realized she's quite good, just occasionally cat-like. I replied, your choice. As vacation approached, Carrie only called once to update me about her new job. The new company was stronger with better opportunities. She wasn't asking, just informing me. Congrats. Henry, are you mad? I'll settle down first there and then bring you over. You can start prepping too, quit the job if needed. Okay, it's time to quit, but not for her. I moved to this unfamiliar city with her because she said she loved the sea. Only recently did I realize he was here back then. Carrie, this time I won't accompany you to someone else. Back home, I stopped resisting my parents' matchmaking and decided to manage the family business locally. Throughout the break, apart from a New Year's mass text, we didn't speak. I went through numerous blind dates, her presence occasionally popping up in Harry's posts. One day, my dad's old boss set me up with someone. I was dragged to meet her by my parents, because previous attempts had been disappointing. I'd become pretty indifferent about marriage. Hi, I'm Wendy. The woman was graceful, with an aura that provided peace and reliability. The reluctance in my heart settled. I offered a smile and my hand, Henry. Our parents were acquaintances. Both families knew each other well. I'd been away for so long, I hadn't met her. Or maybe I had but didn't remember her. A morning chat left us wanting more, and both families were satisfied. My dad praised Wendy for being young and promising, while her folks said I was like a polished gem. After lunch, the old man pointed at us. Look, they're perfect for each other. He decided on the spot, why not make it official now? Sure. Wendy's mom eagerly agreed, afraid Wendy might object. I think he's great, let's settle it. My dad had grown impatient after countless failed dates and agreed right away. I had no objections either. After dating so many people, I knew how hard it was to find someone suitable and non-displeasing. In no time, they discussed dowries, wedding houses, even future kids' arrangements. After the new year, Carrie called again to update on her life. Henry, where are you now? Did you quit your job? At home. Yes, I quit. There was a silence on the other end. Just joined the new company. Can't take a breather. Once things settle, I'll come see you. She didn't mention bringing me over again. Ultimately, it didn't matter. We saw each other again at our high school classmate Charles's wedding. He's popular. Everyone came back for it. This was our first real reunion in years. When past topics came up, my connection with Carrie was hard to ignore. Henry, most of our classmates are married now. Are you settled yet? Peter patted my shoulder, his eyes glancing towards Carrie. Everyone else followed his gaze. Carrie squinted, looked relaxed. Why look at me? Henry and I are just like siblings. Peter nearly laughed in frustration. Grinding his teeth, we're not getting any younger, Henry. Time to hurry it up. I nodded with a smile. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm planning to get married this year. The room fell silent at those words. Marriage? Peter exclaimed, looking between Carrie and me. Not you too, right? How long have you been together? You haven't even announced it? And now you're getting married? Carrie, you kept this under wraps. Didn't admit it earlier. Everyone, Carrie included, was stunned at the unexpected announcement. Henry, what are you talking about? She rubbed her temples, slightly annoyed. I haven't made up my mind yet. She gave me a look, clearly hoping I'd come up with something to smooth this over. I didn't budge, so she continued, Henry, marriage is a big deal. Takes a lot of planning and preparation. I nodded, yeah, but half a year should be enough. She stood up, reaching out to pull me aside and quietly said, What do you mean? Are you trying to rush me? Do you really want to get married so bad? I stepped away, smiling calmly at everyone. This is someone my family introduced to me a while back. My parents are happy about it, and I'm getting older, so settling down gives them peace of mind. Everyone's expression changed, exchanging confused glances. Wasn't it Carrie? They asked. I shook my head, still smiling. You all know Carrie and I are just friends. Crash. Carrie's glass shattered, spilling everywhere as her hand started bleeding. Carrie, your hand. She didn't even notice, standing up angrily and grabbing my wrist. With who? How come I didn't know? What do you mean? Henry, what do you take me for? Obviously, just friends. What else? As for who I'm marrying, you'll see on my wedding day. Peter saw her anger and asked, grinning slightly, Carrie, what's got you so worked up? And hey, if even Henry is getting married, it's time for you to get a move on too. You don't want to hold everyone back. Peter always thought Carrie was insincere, dragging things out with me. Seeing her upset now, he couldn't resist teasing. Carrie's face darkened, and she squeezed my arm hard enough to make me yelp. Pushed her away, frustrated. Carrie, what was that for? I asked, rubbing my sore wrist, annoyed. I had never spoken to her so harshly before. She just stared at me, speechless. Sorry if I hurt you, I didn't mean to. Carrie, show some class. Henry found someone. As a friend, shouldn't you be happy for him? Make sure to give a big gift at the wedding. She looked at us and suddenly smiled. You two sure team up well. Trying to rush a marriage? Huh? Henry, our issues don't need outsiders involved. Give me a couple of years, and when my career is steadier, I promise you'll get an answer. Peter snorted. Henry's about to get married, and you're still dreaming? You think you're the only option? Some friends noticed the tension and separated us, trying to keep the peace. Come on. Everyone take your seats. The wedding's about to start. Carry your hand. There's a first aid room nearby, you should get that wrapped up. Not wanting to cause a scene at someone else's wedding, Carrie left with a few classmates. Henry, you did great, Peter said, pulling me down beside him. I used to think you would be stuck waiting forever. He studied me carefully, quietly asking, is it true? Or just to provoke her? I rolled my eyes. Dude, we're grown-ups here. No need for childish games. Peter still looked unsure but nodded. I hope you find someone who adores you. I pulled up a photo on my phone. Check it out, it's real. Things are going well for now. Peter glanced at it. She is pretty. Looks reliable too. You deserve someone who chooses you wholeheartedly. They finally got my years of struggle and heartache. Henry, leave it in the past. You're only heading for better things. The wedding venue was beautiful. As the MC recounted the love story of the bride and groom, Charles pursued his bride for 5 years and dated for 3 more. Everyone was touched hearing about Charles's passionate and persistent love journey. Out of the blue, Carrie returned to the venue. While everyone marveled at the love tale, they couldn't resist glancing between me and Carrie. Carrie, if you and Henry ended up together, your story would probably move people even more. A tipsy male classmate joked, you two are so tight. Never thought about being together? Carrie, across from me, looked straight into my eyes with a complex expression, drowning her emotions in drink after drink. Peter coughed lightly, asking me, with how tenacious you are, what made you suddenly give up on her? I briefly mentioned Harry. Do you hate him? He asked. I shook my head. I was a latchkey kid, roughly raised by my grandparents. My parents worked in the city and brought me over once they were financially stable. That was during my middle school years. Transitioning from rural life to the city was startling. My classmates were vibrant and smart, in stark contrast to my unease. I was like a time traveler from a primitive tribe landing in the future. Everything was foreign. Public transit, electronics, computers. I didn't know any of the trends they talked about, and my grades fell behind. Feeling distant from my parents, though they provided materially, they never cared if I was happy or listened to my needs. To them, poor grades meant I was lazy or dumb. I withdrew into my world. I failed to enter a good high school, but thanks to my dad's resources, I ended up in a top local one. High school classmates were even more impressive, leaving me entirely isolated. Until Carrie transferred. She joined my table, withstanding my quirks, brightening every day with her smiles. During a winter monthly test in our second year, my grades bottomed out again. No matter how hard I tried, it seemed futile. Felt like my life was ending. I slipped out of the dorm, snow falling, leaving footprints as I wandered. Out of nowhere, Carrie appeared, brushing the snow off me. What's up? Checking out the snow alone at night. I'll join you. I know a spot perfect for sunrise watching. In this snowy weather, it must be beautiful. So she led me out, climbing over the walls. Moonlight guided our path, enveloping us. She suddenly grabbed my hand, urging me to run. I was stunned, but followed her anyway. Wind rushed in, filling me with warmth, like a worn-out bellows renewed with fresh wood. In that moment, I truly felt freedom and vitality. Not sure how long we ran, but we ended up by a big river with a bamboo grove nearby. She stopped. Many bamboo stalks were bent under the weight of the snow, and she shook each one, causing the snow to fall and land on her. As each bamboo proudly stood tall again, I felt something awaken inside of me. It was as if she was shaking off not the snow, but the shadows from my heart. I felt an unprecedented lightness. The sunrise that day was incredibly beautiful, incomparable. Even 10 years later, I vividly remember a girl holding my hand, running with me on the snow, welcoming the first light of the morning. From that day on, I accepted her kindness. We went to and from school together every day and studied together. With her help, I improved little by little, and by the time I graduated high school, I was in the top 10 of my class and got into my ideal college. Being with her, I instinctively started to imitate her, her demeanor, her character. I became more confident and optimistic. She saved me. In my darkest times, when I was most self-doubting and hopeless, she was like a light guiding me out of the gloom. She wasn't my moon, but she truly lit up my life. So even when I found out I was just a stand-in for her, no matter how sad I felt, there was no room in my heart for resentment. She had her shining star and I had my fiancé. I just hoped we could both gracefully step back to being just classmates. Near the end of the event, Carrie suddenly asked, "Henry, when are you going to bring your fiancé around so we can meet her? We've been brothers for so many years. Let me check her out for you." I smiled distantly. "You'll see her at my wedding day. No need to check her out." "Heh, don't tell me she doesn't exist?" Her friends joined in. "Yeah, Henry, why not bring your girl over? At least have her pick you up or something. She's busy. Everyone's on holiday except her. What does she do?" "Henry, besides Carrie, what other woman can catch your eye?" Carrie squinted, slightly tipsy. "Henry, who else would want you besides me?" She still seemed confident that I couldn't leave her, and I didn't feel like arguing. Just then, my phone buzzed. A message popped up, and I glanced at it. "I've got something to do. Might have to leave early." The elevator doors opened, revealing a woman. "Let me introduce her. This is my fiancée, Wendy." "Evan, these are all your classmates?" Wendy looped her arm around mine, nodding at them. "Pleasure to meet you." Some classmates started murmuring, "Wendy? I feel like I know that name. Do you guys know?" "I think she seems familiar but can't quite recall. Maybe it's just the name." Wendy smiled. "Henry and I are getting married in October. Please feel free to come and celebrate with us." Carrie's expression darkened, blocking the elevator door. "Henry, do you have anything to explain to me?" "Carrie, you're drunk." Charles tried to pull her away, but she pushed him aside. "I'm not drunk, Henry. You said you'd be my boyfriend, and now you're with someone else?" She was clearly intoxicated. Wendy stood protectively in front of me. I said seriously, "The person agreeing to be your boyfriend isn't me, Henry, but someone else, right?" She froze. "A bit awkward, Henry. It's not how you think." "Carrie, let it go. You've had too much to drink, don't make things ugly." Others started to chime in. "Yeah, Carrie, now that Henry's with someone, you should be happy for him." Carrie, both anxious and angry, tried to speak but was cut off, interrupted by everyone else. She stood there with red-rimmed eyes, glaring as I entered the elevator, filled with frustration and anger. After leaving the hotel, we got into Wendy's car. "Finished so soon? I thought you'd be stuck in the office these days." Wendy currently runs her own company. She's in a crucial phase of a project, working nonstop with a simple cot in her office for quick naps. "Evan, it's been 3 days since we last met, though it isn't date time yet." Wendy is a classic STEM girl, precise and systematic. Even our dates are penciled into her schedule by her assistant. Dates are planned weekly, timed down to the minute, and she's never late. She plans the activities after getting my input. I went from being unaccustomed to truly enjoying it. Today wasn't a date day, so when she messaged asking where I was, I jokingly sent her a location. "Watching a wedding, it's interesting, wanna come?" Surprisingly, she did. "Evan, I just missed you. For some reason I really wanted to see you." She turned to look at me, seemingly genuine. I redid my schedule, increased our dates from 2 to 4 times a week. So today is a date day. From now on, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are date days. Today is Thursday, so we should meet. She blushed, a shy smile playing on her lips, a stark contrast to her usual composed demeanor. Feeling playful, I slipped my hand under her shirt. "Does your schedule include any plans when I can feel you up?" She instantly tensed, her eyes fixed ahead, gripping the steering wheel tightly. I whispered sweet nothings in her ear, but she remained unfazed. leaving me somewhat disappointed. Once we got off the highway, she parked by a small park, turned to me with a husky voice. "Evan, letting you feel isn't on my schedule. I'm your fiancé. You can do anything you want." She pulled my hand over. I couldn't be distracted on the highway. "But now I'm ready. Go ahead." I chuckled, leaning in to steal a kiss on her cheek. She paused, touching where I'd kissed, her dark eyes swirling. Suddenly, she undid her seatbelt, shifted over to sit on my lap. One hand looped around my neck, the other traced my chest, leaning in to kiss me. The air was filled with her crisp, woody fragrance. Her kissing was clumsy yet eager to learn. We were just separated by a thin layer of clothing. Her heart was pounding like a drum, reverberating through her chest and onto me, making me tremble a little too. After a kiss, I rested my head on her chest and asked, "Is this your first time?" She coughed slightly. "Maybe you can teach me more." "Evan, I'll learn." Wendy took me to a pottery class. One thing I truly appreciate about her is she's never a buzzkill. Growing up in the countryside, I loved playing with mud, molding it into different shapes. It was one of my few hobbies. When I moved back to the city, I learned there were actual pottery classes. My parents didn't approve. They thought it was useless and wanted me to focus on schoolwork. I wasn't a good student, so I dared not ask. As an adult, I mentioned to Carrie that I'd like a proper class. "What's the point? You're not a kid," she said. But Wendy took me directly to a pottery studio, signed me up, and I started from scratch, attending 2 classes a week. Among my peers, I became the oldest beginner in the class, with the others being elementary school kids. "Uncle, you still like playing with mud at your age?" "Yeah, because when I was a kid, I didn't have the chance. Now I can learn openly." To this day, my mom thinks I'm too idle, telling Wendy not to spoil me. I spent an hour at the pottery studio and made a little clay figure resembling her as a gift. After dinner, she dropped me home and went back to work. At 10, when I was getting ready for bed, Wendy called, asking if I wanted to grab a late-night snack. "Isn't it too late for you to come over?" Her office isn't close to my apartment. It's a 40-minute drive. "Henry, I'm already here. Open the door." She was carrying several boxes of grilled skewers. As soon as I opened the door, the delicious smell greeted me. "You didn't eat much at dinner. The barbecue joint below my office is pretty good, so I brought you some." The next day, Wendy picked me up from work to grab lunch. "Today isn't date night, is it?" "This isn't a date, it's just a meal." She always had reasons to see me more and more frequently. Our planned dates went from twice a week to 4 times, then we just scrapped the schedule altogether. Do I need a set time to see my fiancé? Even her assistant was surprised. Boss is getting less and less rational just to see Mr. Henry. After being busy for months, Wendy finally got some downtime. She drove me to experience the entire pottery making process. We rented a small villa in a pottery village, and she hired a master for me. She attended classes with me, cooked, and assisted me with my pottery. Having studied painting, she was great with colors, so she often handled the painting. Even the odd shapes I made, she would thoughtfully compliment with patterns. In our free time, she borrowed a small scooter from the landlord, taking me to pick wild vegetables in the mountains, fish by the river, and catch snails. We ran wild in the countryside. I did everything I wanted to do as a kid. No matter what I did, Wendy always followed with a smile. I was happy during this time, sharing lots of photos, mostly taken by Wendy. I received a private message from Harry. Showing off? Trying to entice whom? I hadn't looked at others' social media for a while. He seemed to be doing poorly. Happy and fulfilled people don't attack others so nastily. I just ignored it and blocked him. After I blocked Henry, he tried adding me with different numbers, sending abusive messages. Carrie pinpointed my location from my photos online. She saw me stepping off the scooter with a bucket of fish and shrimp. "Is this the life you want?" She looked at me with disdain. "Henry, you're so easy, throwing yourself at any woman," she scoffed. "I sent you so many messages, and you didn't respond to a single one?" I muted her messages long ago, so of course, I didn't see them. Wendy parked the car, took the bucket from me, and pulled me inside. Let's go pick some vegetables from the landlord's yard later. For some spicy hot pot tonight. Ignored. Carrie snapped. Henry, 10 years with me, and you ended up with this. I looked at her firmly. Carrie, you still can't change. Can you? Always so entitled and disrespectful. I have light in my eyes, love in my heart, and someone by my side. What's bad about that? Locking arms with Wendy. She's the best woman in my eyes. Startled by the compliment, Wendy's eyes brightened, and she gently scratched my palm. Henry. Carrie softened her tone. Henry, come back. Let's start over. Wendy, always composed, got angry for the first time. Do you think I'm invisible, blatantly trying to steal him? She had an air of authority that silenced Carrie, though she retorted, Henry was supposed to be my boyfriend. Carrie, if you keep this up, we can't even remain friends. I never was your boyfriend, just your second option for your first love, Henry. By God, why are you still bothering me? If she backed off, I wouldn't have exposed her facade. Carrie thought she hid it well, but my words trapped her in shock awkwardly. Henry, it's not like that, we don't have a thing now. So she could abandon what she chased for years in just a few months. I'm sure now I like you. Henry, I mean it. 10 years together and you still want to give up? Useless now. During the time you let Henry insult me, I knew there was no way for us anymore. I sent her screenshots of Henry's insults. Please handle him first. With that, Wendy led me inside, slamming the door shut. Carrie ran after us but was met with a locked door. After coming inside, Wendy grabbed my hand and led me straight to the second floor, right into my room. Henry, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a bit uneasy, she said. Hearing about your 10-year relationship got me insanely jealous. I wrapped an arm around her neck and gently kissed her. You and Song-E have a 20-year friendship, and I haven't said a word. Song-E is Wendy's childhood friend. They went to school together and started a business almost like real siblings. She burst into laughter at my comment, shifting from passive to active. She instinctively started taking off her clothes. Outside, the cicadas sang in the summer, and the sunset filtered through the window, illuminating her face. Tiny beads of sweat on her forehead glistened in the sunlight, turning into droplets that fell on my neck. We spent about 2 blissful weeks at the Pottery Village, living a carefree life. On the way back to the city, the car's trunk was full of my masterpieces, all kinds of pottery. Once at home, exhausted, I collapsed on the couch. She pulled me into her arms and asked earnestly, Henry, should we go get a marriage certificate? We still had 3 months until our wedding, so there was no rush for that. I stared at her, puzzled. Being with you, I often go off script, but I know my feelings so clearly. As long as you're with me, everything seems vibrant. I want to be with you forever. Henry, let's get married. She took out a beautiful diamond ring. No clue when she prepared that. I said yes. The next day, I put on light makeup and went with her to the marriage bureau. The process was quick. In less than an hour, 2 red marriage certificates lay in front of us. I held them and looked them over repeatedly. Are we married? Yes, Mrs. Lynn, she replied. A week before our wedding, Wendy's company went public. We went to the stock exchange together to ring the bell. Finally, I understood why she wanted us to get the certificate early. I just wanted to tell the world you're my husband. We suddenly became the hot new power couple in tech. Wendy and Henry appeared in media everywhere. When she proposed to me, her company's IPO shares were being finalized. By getting the certificate early, her shares, initially hers alone, became ours. She added my name to her share ownership. That was her version of romance and responsibility. We didn't sign a prenup, just her words. Everything I have is yours. The most romantic words aren't I love you, but everything of mine is yours. On our wedding day, Carrie didn't show but sent along an extravagant set of jewelry through someone else. Wendy locked it away. Later, I heard bits and pieces about her from classmates. She quit her job and moved back to Bin Hai, where we went to college and worked together once. Years later, I heard she was still single. As for Harry, after Carrie met me, he stopped bothering, and there were no more updates about him. We were never connected to begin with. After getting married, Wendy continued to support my little hobbies. I play several roles: a major shareholder of the company and the owner of a pottery studio. In Wendy's office, her desk is filled with pottery I've made. Cute, weird, ugly, and beautiful ones. Reporters often ask about them during interviews. She proudly tells them my wife made them for me. My mom always sighs, "Only Wendy spoils you like this." Wendy slyly links her fingers with mine and smiles. "Mom, I finally married someone I love, so I have to spoil her for life."